Well, hello, my friend. My name is Joe Bakhmotsky. I'm the founder of Power to Be Happy and also the author of Finding Hope in Times of Uncertainty, a guide to thriving in a challenging world of today. And listen, we all share this dream that one day things are just going to be so much easier than they are today. And that you're going to look back on life and you're going to think, well, I can't believe that things used to be this hard. I can't believe that my life was this difficult. But then, if you go back further, out past that, I think it would also be true to say that we all have this kind of funny feeling that things will never be easy and they won't ever really get easy, because things are just never gonna be perfect, and there are so many wrongs that are never really gonna go away. And right now you might be wondering, well, why are you even telling me? I mean, this is a bit of a down. I mean, isn't this supposed to be, a self-development, growth type of conversation where we're looking for ways to improve things? And that is true. But I think it's also an important moment for us to realize that we're never going to live in some perfect future. I know that you know this because I know that you've been through the struggle yourself, and you know exactly what it's like to live with worry, with just panic, with just freaking out about what's gonna happen and what else is gonna go wrong. And it can make you be afraid of the future, of what it's gonna bring, of all these possible futures where with all those horrible things that will probably never even happen. And the challenge with that is saying, putting that aside and saying, I don't know if it will ever be easy, because you've seen the struggle. And just saying that the only time where we can live in and live fully and be totally engaged in what we are doing, despite the challenges and the uncertainty that you might be facing, is today. It's right now. And I know things ain't easy for you today, but they're not gonna get easy in some kind of a future, right? There might be a whole world better. They might, you might bring in new things, new experiences, and new people into your life. Or you might just bring more joy from what you have, in your life. But that's never going to happen someday. That's never going to happen one day into the future. Because the only time that it can happen is right now. And yes, it's absolutely true that there are so many wrongs that are not going to go away. And life is never really going to be perfect. And yet, there are so many things that you can make right. And the only time to make them right is right now. It's today. Right? Because we're never going to get an opportunity in the future to fix things, right? The only time when we get to start to make changes that are going to be right for you, for your way of life, or just live in the way that is meaningful for you today, is now. It's not in some sort of future. We can't put things off until one day when things will get better. With you and me who've been through the struggle, we know that's not going to happen. We know that things are never going to be this way. And so we need to reconnect with this moment, the present moment, in a way that is going to hold you up And it's gonna make you feel like it's your life, where you are more connected, you're having more fun, and you're experiencing more joy than ever before. And I know that sounds like it's difficult, because it is, right? Because we all get so busy. There are so many things going on. There's so many your struggles that you might already have, and so many difficulties that you're trying to get around right now. But you know what? It's also so much easier for people like you and me to reconnect with just being present and being in the moment and taking life as it is in all its in all its glory, in all its beauty, with all of its imperfections, right? We can do that today because you have been through the struggle yourself. You know what it's like. You stood on the edge. And that is why it's important to reconnect with the moment where you felt like you really stood on the edge. Because that is what's going to help you to reconnect with things that matter to you right now. It's going to reconnect you with things that you do enjoy, with people who do mean the world to you in your life today. It won't make those worries or those difficult times that you have, it won't make them disappear, but it will help you to put them aside and help you enjoy what you can enjoy today, what you can love today, despite the chaos and the uncertainty that you have around you. Because by reconnecting with your struggles, with what you lost, with what you gained, with what you're trying your hardest, your bestest to keep in your life right now, that will bring you into what you have today, into this one moment that it's happening right now. So how do you do that? Well, I want to share with you the one question that helps me to reconnect with what's real for me today. And it really happened to me, the first time I asked this question. I remember I was sitting on the sofa. That sofa, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I was sitting on the sofa and I felt like the sun was around me, but I just didn't see it. I was lost so deep in my troubles, in my worries, in my fears of what's gonna happen. I remember I couldn't escape from this endless worry about cancer, right? Because I was in between my chemo rounds, and each round it is just kind of added kind of this whole layer of questions and doubts, and it's worn me out, and just physically and emotionally and mentally. And I was it just kind of, at one moment, it just kind of all got to me. And I was just sitting there, I was going, oh my God, like, what can I do? Like, I mean, I was thinking about, is the cancer going to go away? I'm going through all of this. It might still be there. How I'm going to live my life? How am I going to go back to work? I mean, I'm in awful shape. I can't really be there for my family. Like, what's going to happen? And then this question came to me. And I said to myself, what if this was my last day on this planet? What if this was my last day alive? What would I do right now? And I really thought about this. I really took it to heart. I thought, well, what can really happen? What would I do? And you know what? Those worries, those concerns, they somehow just fell away. They didn't disappear, but they kind of obscured from view. They just kind of went into the background. And I thought, well, what can I do now? Well, I can go and, have play with my son. He was 2 years at the time, and I went. And we had this massive pillow fight, and we were just, it was so much fun. We were just rolling on the bed, throwing pillows. I was just singing these ridiculous songs about dolphin and the dragons being friends. And it was just so much fun. I wasn't thinking about what might happen with cancer. I wasn't worrying about treatment. I wasn't thinking about the results. I was just in that moment, enjoying it, being there, having fun, being myself. And it just lifted me up. I felt so much more present, so much more alive. I felt so much more like the way that I should be living. And in that moment that probably lasted, 10 minutes maybe. And eventually you kind of get dragged back into the realities of life. But as I started asking myself this question every single day, and every day it helped me to bring back some of that feeling. Sometimes it wasn't perfect, and sometimes I was still stuck in that worry place. But most of the time, it helped me to really reconnect with all those, possibilities of being in the moment, of what is real for me right now. What can I do today? If this really was my last day on this planet, because I know what it's like. It's a real thing. It's been a real thing for me then. It's a real thing for me now. And it's a real thing in some way, shape or form for you as well. Because you went through the troubles in your life and you stood on the edge yourself. And you didn't know what life is going to bring, and you still don't. Right? It's just that you now have the proof that life ain't easy. And there's only so much that we can do in terms of living the best that we can for ourselves, not for anyone else, for you. So if you were to ask yourself right now, do this with me right now, and ask yourself this: what if this was my last day alive? What would I do today? If you ask this question for yourself right now, what would it be? What could you do? Because you have the freedom to do that today. To do what's right for you, for your way of life. To live in this moment, in the moment that matters to you right now. I hope that this helps you, because it's so vital to live in this moment that you have today, despite all the chaos and all the uncertainty that are around you, that may not be going away. We have to find a way to keep on living well, and living on your terms. My name is Joe Bekmutsky. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to speaking with you soon. See ya.